this tutorial, this is another video from C++ for complete beginners, and we're going to start looking at variables in this video. So variables are one of the fundamental building blocks of programming languages, and we're going to just start looking at them here. So I'm going to create a new project, and hopefully you typed in this for yourself and you tried outputting different bits of text in the ways that I showed you in the last video, because that will be great preparation if you've done that. So let's go to let's go to File, New C++ Project, and let's give this a name of variables and click Finish. So we've got a new project here, and actually what I meant to do was, let's delete that. So I'll delete it and I'll say I want to delete the project contents on disk as well, because what I really wanted to do was use the basic project template. So new C++ project, hello world C++ project, variables, click Finish, and there we go. I used to re-record videos if I made a mistake, but I realised that everyone's making the same mistakes. So if I make a mistake sometimes, people are sometimes happy because they make the same mistake. Okay, so anyway, so we've got this main program. I'm going to delete this C outline here and just hit return a few times, so we've got some blank lines, we've got some space to work in here. And so we've seen that you can type stuff like cout, chevron, and in quotes, hello, and then after the closing quote, chevron, endler. That's basically what we just had a minute ago. And if I select the project, go to project, build project, and click run, and yes, I want to save it, and it says hello. Now this is a bit of text, and in the programming lingo we call bits of text strings. So this is a string, and we say this is a string literal, meaning it's the actual value of a string. It's not something that can change. It's an actual string, literally a string literal. But often in programming we want values that can change, that can be added together, that can be used later in the program, and so on. And for this we need variables. So I'm going to type something here, and it's going to look, if you've never seen it before, a bit mystifying, but I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to type int number cats equals 5 semicolon. And what this is doing is it's actually allocating a bit of the computer's memory. It's setting aside a bit of the computer's memory to store a value in, to store actually an integer value. An integer is a number that doesn't have a decimal point in it, basically like 5 or 369 or whatever. So I've written a keyword. This is a keyword, int, and you know it's a keyword because your IDE will highlight it in a particular colour. So here in Eclipse it's sort of, I don't know, what is it, mauve or dark pink, I'm not sure, but it's highlighted in this brownish pinkish colour along with things like this. So these are all keywords in the C++ language. C++ doesn't actually have all that many keywords, you'll be pleased to know. Whoops, Control Z, yeah. Okay, so so int means allocate me some memory for storing an integer. And then we've got a space, and then we've got the variable name. Now this is something that I've made up, as you might guess, number cats. And notice the way I've written it. So there are two words in this variable, and it's important to give variables descriptive names. They won't always have multiple words in them, but if they do, you need to differentiate the words from each other somehow. So one way that people often do this is they use underscores. So I could have typed int number underscore cats equals 5. That's the same thing. But what I've done instead is called camel casing for some reason, where we make the first letter of each subsequent word after the first one uppercase. And you have to choose one of these styles, and it doesn't matter which one you choose for your variable names, but stick to it consistently in your program. Whatever you do, don't mix this kind of thing with this kind of thing because it looks really ugly. So your variables, if they have names of more than one word, either uppercase, subsequent words, or separated different words with underscores. So I've just made this up. It's just made up of normal letters. And you can also use numbers in variable names. You can't start them with a number. So I can't put 6 there, that's an error. You see the warning thing here. But I can put 6 at the end, so you can use numbers in variables, just not at the beginning. So they should be made up of basically normal letters, underscores, and numbers where necessary. So I've set aside a bit of memory suitable for holding an integer. I've labelled that bit of memory with the label number cats. So it's just like going up to a bit of your computer's memory and sticking a physical bit of paper on it and writing number cats on that bit of paper. You've labelled that bit of memory. And the equals 5 here says, and now put the value 5 into that memory. So that's what I'm doing there, allocating a bit of memory, giving it a label which I've made up, and sticking the value 5 in it. And this is called a variable because it can actually change. So let's see what we can do with this. Between double quotes here, with my C out, I'm going to type number of cats, semicolon, space. So this is all including the space, it's just some text. There's nothing special about that. I could type anything I wanted in there. And then after that I'm going to put another chevron and I'm going to put number cats in there. And now, so what we've got here, if we break it down, first we're outputting this text, number of cats, colon, space. Then we're outputting the value contained in this variable, this bit of memory, which is 5. And then we're outputting a new line character to like make any subsequent stuff that we output appear on a new line after this. And we're also flushing the buffer. So we're telling our operating system, output this text now, don't save it up and do it later. And notice I've got the tab here as well. I've indented all these statements.